Let me mention Elon Musk. What are your thoughts about? You're more on the physics theory side of things. He's more on the physics engineering side of things in terms of SpaceX efforts. What do you think of his efforts to get off this planet?
Well, I think he's the other guy who's semi-serious about getting off this planet. I think there are two of us who are semi-serious about getting off the planet.
What do you think about his methodology and yours when you look at them?
I don't want to be against Elon because like I was so excited that like your top video was Ray Kurzweil, and then I did your podcast and we had some chemistry, so it zoomed up.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I'm going to beat Ray Kurzweil. So just as I'm coming up on Ray Kurzweil, you're like, and now a Lex Fridman special, Elon Musk, and he blew me out of the water. Yeah. So I don't want to be petty about it. I want to say that I don't, but I am.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the funny part. He's not taking enough risk. Like he's trying to get us to Mars. Imagine that he got us to Mars, the moon, and we'll throw in Titan.
Yeah.
And nowhere good enough. The diversification level is too low. Now, there's a compatibility. First of all, I don't think Elon is serious about Mars. I think Elon is using Mars
as a narrative, as a story, as a dream,
to make the moon jealous.
To make the
no. I think he's using it as a story to organize us, to reacquaint ourselves with our need for space, our need to get off this planet. It's a concrete thing. He's shown that many people think that he's shown that he's the most brilliant and capable person on the planet. I don't think that's what he showed. I think he showed that the rest of us have forgotten our capabilities. And so he's like the only guy who has still kept the faith and is like, what's wrong with you people?
So you think the lesson we should draw from Elon Musk is there's a capable person within a lot of us?
Elon makes sense to me.
In what way?
He's doing what any sensible person should do. He's trying incredible things, and he's partially succeeding, partially failing.
To try to solve the obvious problems before.
Duh.
Yeah.
But he comes up with things like, I got it. We'll come up with a battery company, but batteries aren't sexy. So we'll make a car around it. Like, great. Or any one of a number of things. Elon is behaving like a sane person, and I view everyone else as insane. And my feeling is that we really have to get off this planet. We have to get out of this. We have to get out of the neighborhood.
To linger on a little bit, do you think that's a physics problem or an engineering problem?
I think it's a cowardice problem. I think that we're afraid that we had 400 hitters of the mind, like Einstein and Dirac, and that era is done. And now we're just sort of copy editors.
So is some of it money? Like if we become brave enough to go outside the solar system, can we afford to financially?
Well, I think that's not really the issue. The issue is, look what Elon did well. He amassed a lot of money. And then he plowed it back in and he spun the wheel and he made more money. And now he's got FU money. Now the problem is that a lot of the people who have FU money are not people whose middle finger you ever want to see. I want to see Elon's middle finger. I want to see
what do you mean by that? Or like when you say, fuck it, I'm going to do the biggest
He's going to do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Right? Fuck you. Fuck anything that gets in his way that he can afford to push out of his way.
And you're saying he's not actually even doing that enough?
No,
he's not going.
Please, I'm going to go. Elon's doing fine with his money. I just want him to enjoy himself, have the most, Dionysian.
Well, no, but you're saying Mars is playing it safe.
He doesn't know how to do anything else. He knows rockets.
Yeah.
And he might know some physics at a fundamental level.
Yeah. I guess, okay, let me go right back to it. How much physics how much brilliant breakthrough ideas on the physics side do you need to get off this planet?
I don't know. Yeah. And I don't know whether, like in my most optimistic dream, I don't know whether my stuff gets us off the planet, but it's hope. It's hope that there's a more fundamental theory that we can access, that we don't need, whose elegance and beauty will suggest that this is probably the way the universe goes. Like, you have to say this weird thing, which is, this I believe. And this I believe is a very dangerous statement. But this I believe that my theory points the way. Now, Elon might or might not be able to access my theory. I don't know what he knows. But keep in mind, why are we all so focused on Elon? It's really weird. It's kind of creepy too.
Why? He's just the person who's just asking the obvious questions and doing whatever he can.
But he makes sense to me. You see,
Right.
Craig Venter makes sense to me. Jim Watson makes sense to me.
But we're focusing on Elon because he's somehow is rare.
Well, that's the weird thing. Like, we've come up with a system that eliminates all Elon from our pipeline. And Elon somehow snuck through when they weren't quality adjusting everything,
And this idea of DISC, right? Distributed Idea Suppression Complex.
Yeah.
Is that what's bringing the Elons of the world down?
It's so funny. It's like he's asking Joe Rogan, like, is that a joint? It's like, well, what will happen if I smoke it? What will happen to the stock price? What will happen if I scratch myself in public? What will happen if I say what I think about Thailand or COVID or who knows what? And everybody's like, don't say that. Say this. Go do this. Go do that. Well, it's crazy making. It's absolutely crazy making. And if you think about what we put people through, we need to get people who can use FU money, the FU money they need to insulate themselves from all of the people who know better. Because my nightmare is that, why did we only get one Elon? What if we were supposed to have thousands and thousands of Elons? And the weird thing is, like, this is all that remains. You're looking at like Obi-Wan and Yoda, and it's like, this is all that's left after Order 66 has been executed. And that's the thing that's really upsetting to me, is we used to have Elon's 5 deep, and then we could talk about Elon in the context of his cohort. But this is like, if you were to see a giraffe in the Arctic with no trees around, you'd think, why the long neck? What a strange sight.